This is Alan Fogelquist with a short AI-assisted analysis of recent events related to the Ukraine war. The war in Ukraine, now in its fifth year, continues with no end clearly in sight. Despite intense diplomatic activity and enormous human cost on both sides, the conflict remains locked in a prolonged stalemate along a front line stretching nearly 1,000 miles across eastern and southern Ukraine. On the battlefield, Russian forces have made slow but steady advances, gaining roughly 1,400 square miles of Ukrainian territory over the past 12 months, an area smaller than the state of Rhode Island. The human cost has been severe. Russian military casualties, killed and wounded combined, have now reached an estimated 1 million. Ukrainian military casualties are estimated at between 250 and 300,000. Ukraine has developed a significant new strategic capability: long-range drone operations. Ukrainian drones have reached deep inside Russian territory, striking energy facilities and industrial installations near Moscow. In mid-June, a major oil refinery supplying over a third of the Moscow region's fuel was struck, sending smoke across the Russian capital. For the first time, the effects of the conflict are being felt directly by the Russian public. Russia, meanwhile, has continued extensive aerial operations against Ukrainian cities. Kyiv has been struck an average of 35 times per month over the past year and a half. On June 15th, residential neighborhoods, a school, and the ancient Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra Monastery, one of the most revered sites in Orthodox Christianity, sustained significant damage. On the diplomatic front, the Trump administration entered office promising to end the war within 24 hours. That deadline passed, as did a revised target of 100 days. Trilateral talks between the United States, Ukraine, and Russia were held in Geneva in February of this year. A prisoner exchange was achieved. 500 personnel returned on each side, but the core political issues remain unresolved. Russia seeks formal recognition of all territories it currently holds, a permanent bar on Ukrainian NATO membership, and restrictions on Ukraine's armed forces. Ukraine seeks a full Russian withdrawal, security guarantees against future aggression, and international accountability for conduct during the conflict. These positions remain far apart. At the G7 summit in France earlier this month, President Trump met with Ukrainian President Zelensky and expressed renewed interest in helping reach a settlement. However, American diplomatic attention has been significantly drawn toward the situation with Iran and other regional developments. Europe has responded by developing its own security framework. Britain and France have announced plans to establish military support facilities inside Ukraine as part of what European leaders call a coalition of the willing, designed to deter future aggression whether or not a formal peace agreement is reached. The conflict continues at enormous human and economic cost to all parties. Ukraine has demonstrated remarkable resilience and growing strategic sophistication. Russia retains significant territorial and manpower advantages, but at a cost that is visibly placing strain on its society and economy. A negotiated settlement remains the most realistic path forward, but the gap between the two sides remains wide, and the political will to bridge it has yet to emerge. This is Alan Fogelquist with a short AI-assisted analysis of recent events related to the Ukraine war, prepared with the assistance of Claude, by Anthropic.